Daryl Morey, please do not do this. I am begging you. The Sixers have brought in a former first-round pick for a workout. Seems like a pretty good idea, right? But wait till you find out who it is. We'll get into all that news. Also, one quick piece of information. The Sixers can start re-signing their own free agents today. This is a new rule in the CBA where your own free agents that are coming into free agency can re-sign with the team right after the NBA Finals ends. And obviously the Celtics got it done last night. So we're not going to hear, Paul George to the Sixers or something like that today, but some of these guys that are expiring deals, and obviously this is huge for the Sixers because they have a lot of pending free agents from their team, could re-sign today. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody gets signed. So far, no news at all. So maybe there is some type of strategy involved where they're waiting. Another thing I've gotten today is, well, are we going to get a max contract today? No, we're not, because the Sixers are going to use it to their strategy where they're not going to sign him till the end, right? He's going to be the last one. That way they can maximize their cap space and use his cap hold for now to their advantage. We talked about that in our cap breakdown before, so definitely check that out. But we need to start off with last night because I'm going to be honest with you, it was a brutal night to be a Sixers fan. Last year, we go through the whole Embiid, Jokic conversation. What happens? The Nuggets go on, they win the NBA Finals. And then this year, to make it even worse for Sixer Nation, the Boston Celtics just plow their way through and win the Larry O'Brien trophy. And I mean, how could it get worse for Sixer Nation? Well, let's talk about it, right? Former Sixers in this picture. Drew Holiday gets his second ring. I don't know how the Bucks let him go, and he ends up getting a boss. And I mean, at that point, it's already not fair. Brad Stevens goes from being the coach to the GM and is absolutely phenomenal. He swings Porzingis and 2 first-round picks. But anyway, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, double agent Al Horford, by the way, former Sixer, gets a ring. Look at that up there, Jaden Springer. That's right, Jaden Springer is an official NBA champion. Sam Cassell was on the Sixers staff. He is now an NBA champion as a assistant coach. Joe Mazzulla got his ring finally and was the guy to put him over the top. And man, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown end up getting it done. And a couple years ago, everybody was talking about splitting them up. I want to say, Al Horford, I can't stand you. It makes me sick to my stomach to see this picture. I mean, cool, you finally got your ring, but the way that it went down in Philly, I know it wasn't entirely his fault, but even last night in his post-game presser, he was saying, and even on the floor, how this is what he pictured. This is what he envisioned 8 years ago. And at that point, I'm thinking to myself, well, why'd you sign in Philly, right? If you envisioned this 8 years ago when you signed with Boston and you knew you were going to win a ring at TD Garden, why'd you sign with Philly? Even more confirmation that this guy was a double agent, and it's just a crazy story at this point. But the Celtics get it done. Their fans are mad at me on Twitter because I said that this was the easiest run to a finals ever. I'm not taking anything away from them. They earned it. They deserved it. They played hard. They were the most dominant team all season. The writing was on the wall. We saw it. The Boston Celtics deserve credit for their dominant playoff run. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that they played the Heat without Jimmy Butler. They played the Cavs without Mitchell the last 2 games. They played the Pacers without Halliburton the last 2 games, and they played an injured Luka Doncic in the finals. But it all comes full circle. The fact that the Sixers are still the ones here on the outside, right? They're the outside looking in. They're not having fun at the party. When will it be this duo's turn? Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey to finally hit the pinnacle, man. To finally even get an opportunity. I got to give the Celtics credit. They're damn good. They have their guys locked up for several years. Brad Stevens has done a great job. They build well. And the number one thing is that they draft well and they develop. Right? And I was arguing with Sixer fans on Instagram last night because we put up a post saying Peyton Pritchard has multiple buzzer beaters in the NBA Finals. He's the first guy to hit 2 half-court shots in the Finals. Meanwhile, Jaden Springer, the Sixers' most recent first-round pick, is sitting at the end of the bench for the Celtics. It just shows the disparity. The Sixers don't draft and develop their picks, and the Celtics hit on these guys every year. And people kept saying, well, Tyrese Maxey, great. I'm glad we hit on one guy. That was because of a pandemic and we got lucky. Without Maxey, where would we be? The Celtics find these hidden gems every single year. We cannot just be content. All the first round picks the Sixers have had, and they have been wasted. Meanwhile, the Celtics just keep finding these gems, make a couple sneaky trades, use some of the guys they draft in trades, and get better. And here they are at the top. And who says they can't do it again? Tatum and Brown in their mid-20s. Anyway, speaking of hidden gems, I almost lost my mind earlier today. I was getting tagged as we are waiting for some free agent news, right? Maybe some will come out and we'll be happier. But according to John Clark, the Sixers held a free agent workout and a tryout for former first-round pick Sam Dekker, who was in Houston with Daryl Morey. Whip-de-doo, what a surprise. Daryl Morey trying to get another Houston Rocket. And you're probably scratching your head. Who is Sam Dekker? Yeah, let me go ahead and show you, okay? Because I remember this guy from Wisconsin. But here was his NBA career. Houston Rockets for a couple years, right? Bouncing around to the G League. Clippers for a year. Cavs, Washington Wizards. Wait, 2018 and 19. And then he went overseas. And that's where he's been. Wait, Toronto Raptors in 2021. But he's been overseas. And because this guy won the MVP of the British Basketball League in 2023, and their team won, and they were great with the London Lions, Daryl Morey's trying to get this guy here. Maybe it's Nick Nurse, right, who was great in the British Basketball League, and maybe he's trying to find some guys, but this just confirms to me that, again, the Sixers are going for a star because they're not going to have a ton of cap space if they get one of these big names, so you're going to have to fill out your roster with guys who won't cost as much money. But my thing is, you can find some vet mins in the NBA. We're really going overseas to get Sam Dekker. By the way, he's 30 years old. Here were the numbers he had in the NBA. He was all but a bust. And oh, by the way, the 2021 season that we just mentioned, he played 1 minute. He played 1 minute of one game. So take that out of the conversation. This guy has not played NBA basketball in 6 years. 6 years. You got people in the comments on Twitter telling me, and this goes back to the convo we just had about people being content. We have to stop being content. No, we are pissed. We are seeing all these other great teams being built, and we're trying to work out Sam Dekker. Come on, we have all the cap space in the world. We have tradable assets. What are we doing? The Sixers are trying to sign a guy who hasn't played NBA ball in 6 years. 2018, and he averaged 6 points per game in 16 minutes per game, and he shot 28.6% from three. There's people on Twitter telling me this is the next Sam Hauser. This is the Celtics hidden gem. This is not a hidden gem. This is a guy who's washed. No offense to him, but we don't need that. We need to find either some young guys in the draft. We need to find some hidden gems sitting on NBA rosters who haven't played and maybe are upset at their role and could use more of a maximized role. But going over to London to get a guy who hasn't played in 6 years in the NBA is absolutely insane. And it goes back to the conversation that people keep having about Daryl Morey. He only likes former Rocket players. He was brought in by Daryl Morey. Whip-de-doo. We got another former Rocket trying to join the squad. I hope this is not the direction we're going. It's still early. We have a lot of time. Free agency is going to hit in, a week here, but we can start getting news today. I really hope there is a play in here. I hope there's a strategy because you finally have all the assets and the resources set up at your disposal. You cannot waste this opportunity. You can't mess this one up. And again, some people are saying, well, there's no harm in this, right? Guy at the back end of the rotation that you could try out, whatever. Cool, but this is the start of it. You know what I mean? You can't make your imprint with this kind of move. Last season, we kind of let all the nonsense go because it was a gap year and we were bringing in a new coach and we still were dealing with the James Harden stuff. So while Daryl Morey was signing a bunch of centers and this and that, we kind of let it go a little bit. But there's no excuse now. There is no excuse. You can't go get a PG and fill out the roster with Sam Deckers. That is not going to win you an NBA championship. So I hope we have a plan in mind. This was the most random news that I could, even imagine today. And who knows if he's even going to get signed. But Daryl Morey is seeking out former Rockets players. And here's number one on the list. Give me your thoughts. Do you want Sam Decker on the 76ers? Give me your thoughts. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll keep you up to date with all the news. That being said, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.